Hey Virgo, I'm David and welcome to my channel. I'm here to do your Celtic Cross reading for August. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Hope all of you are doing well out there. I know it's been feel like to me it feel like time has been flying, but it has been a busy month. So sorry that getting this video up to you to upload it has been delayed. Just been trying to do things the best I possibly can. So bear with me. If you're new to tarot, please keep in mind this is a general reading, so this might not resonate with everyone, but only take the parts that do. If it does not, please leave the message here. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So we have the Six of Swords showing up as your current energy, being crossed by the Two of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Knight of Swords as what you should focus on. We have the Ten of Cups in reverse as your recent past. Next, we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse as your Strength card. Followed by the Page of Swords in your near future. We have the Eight of Pentacles as your suggested approach. Then we have the Four of Pentacles as what else? Four of Cups as what else you need to know. Followed by the Tower card as your Hope of Fear. Followed by the Sun card in reverse as your potential future. So Virgo, let's see what's happening here for you guys. So starting off, you show up as a Six of Swords in upright, transition, change, leaving behind, releasing baggage, moving on. Crossing that, we have the Two of Pentacles in reverse, overcommitted, disorganized, lack of balance, overwhelm, reprioritize. I Overall, that just seems like you're dropping something, you're leaving something behind, and I feel like with it seems appropriate because I feel like that's why the as you suggested or what you should focus on, the Knight of Sword came out, which represent like of course movement, but ambitious, action oriented, driven to succeed, fast thinking, defying beliefs. So yeah, I feel like something wasn't working. If something has not been working out, like, and it's just getting like a confirmation of like you're being pushed or urged to leave something behind. It could be career driven, but it also could be like maybe there's some people or personnel that's like slowing you down or getting in the way of like some of your goals, and so you're being pushed or urged to like let some of that go and just it seems like some of you might be letting that go and just focusing on what matters to you. In your recent past, we have the Ten of Cups in reverse. Shattered dreams, broken family, domestic disharmony, disconnection, misaligned values, struggling relationships. Yeah, it'd be crazy for me to say Virgo, but maybe you feel that you haven't been getting for because as I mentioned recently, I wasn't 100% convinced that this was solely work related. And with the Ten of Cups, I'm kind of getting like that same energy where it could apply to work and personal, where you haven't felt you have been experiencing issues on both sides of it, where whatever you're doing for work or whoever you've been working for, there's some conflict. You don't feel like you're gonna be able to achieve the goal or the position, the pay that you desire. So you feel like you're gonna take matters into your own hand and start seeking something else. And then in your personal life, maybe there's a little bit of disconnect between you and your partner, where you starting to notice it more and more, where you've been contemplating on whether or not you want to leave that relationship. I feel like it could be either or both in this scenario. So if you feel like that's something that you've been toggling or joggling or thinking about, maybe this reading is for you. Moving on to your strength card, we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Lack of commitment, greediness, laziness, procrastination, learn from failure. Yeah, I feel like I like now. I know some people might view the lack of commitment as like a negative thing, but I'm gonna embody that for you, Virgo. I feel like the lack of commitment coming through with the Page of Pentacles in reverse means that you're focusing on yourself, right? You're focusing on what you want, what you desire for yourself. So, and you're not really gonna sideline that. You're not gonna sideline others' wants and desires over your own. So I feel like that's what you're focusing on, which to me is like the more power to you. Going towards your near future, we have the Page of Swords. Um, New ideas, curiosity, thirst for knowledge, new ways of communicating, restless, and mental energy. Now, I feel like with the Page of Swords, what this ultimately means for you is that because you feel that you wasted so much time dealing with these past scenarios or these past situations that you was a part of. Again, this could be business and personal. The new learned you, or some of the new skills that you're gonna carry with you is like you're gonna before you enter or agree to say dating someone else or taking a new position, you're gonna make it clear going forward what your expectations are so that you don't waste time hoping or investing in people thinking that they gonna meet you or they're gonna align with your goals or meet you where you need them to meet you. You're just gonna make it clear going forward what your expectations are. And if someone can't deliver on what your expectations are, you just gonna, not decide to take on that or, join whatever or agree to whatever, connection or job position that you're offered. Um Moving on to your suggested approach, we have the Eight of Pentacles coming up upright. Diligence, passion, high standards, apprenticeship, mastery, skill, development, repetitive tasks. Now, I definitely feel like this is you setting the bar. Don't make concessions, Virgo, on what you want and what you desire, right? Like, and that applies to work and personal. Now work, it might be a little bit challenging if you don't have the complete authority, to make all the changes that you desire. But maybe that's also something that you desire. Maybe you desire a position where you do gain the authority to make the changes that you feel and think is necessary for this overall success of the organization, or at least for you, for whatever things that you're obligated or tasked with, for you to see it to become successful. You want to make sure you are um authorized to implement whatever changes you seem fit. um Moving on, we have the Four of Cups as what else you need to know. Meditation, contemplation, empathy, reevaluation, disconnected. Now, let's find the best way. Now, I feel like the four pentacles here, Virgo, is even though it's I feel like some things or some people or some situations in a sense they still might irritate you a little bit. Like you might still have to deal with certain people or certain situation that really is gonna it's gonna really require you to like find a way to keep calm, keep your peace. Um, it's okay for you to have a high standard for yourself, but as you navigate your I guess life in general, you're gonna come across people who you're gonna feel just not as talented as you that might cause conflicts or issues for you. And I feel like there's gonna be a little bit of irritation as you find yourself in these situations, but also with the four cups, I'm also feeling that it's telling you to like show a little bit of compassion. Like maybe these people are just not as quick and smart as you. So it's not really good for you just to come off or to try to degrade these people or, make people feel less than. It's just learn to like maybe lead with some type of like compassion or empathy just to, try to make people not feel so under beneath you if you can and learn how to like keep your cool in I guess challenging situations. Then showing up as your hope and fear, we have the Tower card, sudden change, upheaval, chaos, re, reviration. Pretty much, I feel like the Tower card in this sense is something that you you sort of want, at least for this current situation, because towers typically means a change, and I feel like on a on the plus side, that's what you want, right? You want to move towards something that's gonna make you feel more fulfilled, but at the same time, there's a aspect of you that feels like or that's been hesitant to make this change because you're being playing it safe, right? Maybe this is something a company that you've been with for some time where you feel like, yeah, they're not paying you or the relationship is not your partner is not fulfilling you in every category, but there's some things that they do right, or it's pretty much you've been living in your comfort zone. Maybe the tower card is just acknowledgement like, well, if you want to see change, you got to be able to implement change. So this is kind of like it's scary for you, but at the same time, it brings you hope because you know what your overall goals and what future you want for yourself. Then closing it out, we have the Sun card in reverse, inner child, feeling feeling down, over optimistic, negativity, depression, sadness, carelessness, arrogance. Now, I know the Sun card has good meanings and some negative aspects to it. Now, I feel that the most important here for you, Virgo, is the inner child feeling. And when I think of inner child, I feel like something that you wanted for yourself since you was a little person, right? Like you know how they ask you in elementary school, like what do you see or how do you see yourself? And there's a part of you that still wants to chase after whatever vision that you thought or you wanted for yourself. Maybe you thought of yourself as this successful entrepreneur, and you want to set yourself back onto that path to achieve that. And I feel like with the negative aspects of this, like the over optimistic, I feel like that's just what happens when you don't do your work to gather all the research and details, because you can, the more information and research you're able to gather and understand, you really starts to navigate in the realm of what's really achievable versus just throwing money blindly to different incentives, right? If you really take the time to laser focus research is whatever industry or whatever thing you want to put energy into, you really start to understand the industry, and the optimism starts to turn a little more into reality. So that's just something that, um as a suggestion, you can think about it in that way. um I feel like the other aspects, depression, sadness, carelessness, arrogance, I feel like the arrogance, that's just if you become a little bit too cocky, or just you lose your humbleness. That could be a possibility. But the other feelings, I feel like there's just part of, like, as you live life and develop relationship, you're gonna have some people that's gonna disappoint you, that's gonna make you feel sad, especially if you're gonna, or if you're considering, if you're not dating, or if you are dating, you might have some moments of sadness, or you might have some moments of disappointment. I just feel like that's just part of the whole human experience, especially as adults and trying to build and work with other people, and personal relationships. So I feel like that's a kind of a given. But ultimately, I feel like you, if you willing to make some of these changes, and it seems like you are, you're gonna set yourself up to at least take steps to that idea or vision that you wanted for yourself, which is, a great thing to see. So yeah, this is what I got for you guys. Let me know how you feel about this video. If you like the video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, leaving a comment, and subscribing to the channel. Besides that, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.